So for the next 30 minutes, let's talk about flying in the country, okay? So COVID-19 came, COVID-19 had very many adverse effects. Some industries basically had to shut down. So hospitality shut down, flying shut down. Among those that were affected are Jambojet, the local carrier that's a subsidiary of Kenya Airways, and there was no flying within the country or even across the borders, and so they were impacted. And until the president announced the opening up of the airspaces again, and then the airlines started flying. So let's find out how they've done since then. Jambojet starting to fly again, trying to get Kenyans to fly again across the country into various destinations. And joining us on the line now is Karanja Ndegwa. He is the managing director of Jambojet Limited. Good morning, Karanja.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
We're glad to have you. Welcome to the Situation Room.
Yes, thank you.
So we just got to get straight into it, Karanja. COVID came, you had to ground all your planes for a while, and then you were told, okay, start your engines, and you're getting back on air. But what kind of impact did those few months have on your business?
Yeah, it was quite an interesting period for us, given that between the 6th of April, when the shutdown was declared by the president, that was on the 6th of April, all the way to when it was reopened on the 15th of July. So basically, we couldn't fly out of Nairobi because our base is in Nairobi, and we had that was about 14 weeks of grounding. During this period, we had to maintain some costs. We had to maintain the aircraft. We had to quickly engage the staff, and generally there was loss of revenue, and we had to quickly ensure that how will we come back with all this COVID? What has changed? And we had to quickly find ways of how do we get to the new normal. So the customer that was coming back was different from the customer that was pre-COVID, because all of a sudden everyone was concerned about their health and well-being. So how we got prepared to receive the customer as and when it opened, we had to bring in the Ministry of Health, whereby we had to engage them on the protocols that we have to put in place. So there were a number of changes, bringing KCA. KCA had to review our manuals to see to it, are we working in accordance with the Ministry of Health protocols as we fly? So there were those changes, and we had to make these changes. Here there were no revenues coming our way during that period. So basically it was tough. But one great thing that happened among the Jambojet staff is that we continued engaging. I think if there's a period that we engaged among ourselves as staff, it was during that period. And people gave out, people sacrificed, people were on pay cuts, and we managed to get through that period. So definitely it was tough.
Ndegwa, let me ask this question. Well, no, yes. I'm trying to figure out which one to ask first. So let me ask this one first. Yes. When you say that you adhered to the standards that the Ministry of Health required of every other industry, including yours, social distancing, how did you address this particular issue in your airlines?
You see, for the airline, especially let me go specifically to the aircraft, because I know that's where the issues have been raised and it has mentioned. Even from IATA, it has been very clear that COVID is more or less like a communicable disease. And within the aircraft, we have the high efficiency particulate air filters, which shift every so often because of the communicable disease. Way before COVID, every three minutes, you find the air is quickly shifted and new air comes in. So that way, you find that you are safer in the aircraft than outside here. Because always there is that renewing of that fresh air and shifting of the current that is there. So with that, we also ensure that everyone is wearing a mask. for us, we are fortunate during this period because our longest flight is 1 hour, 20 minutes. So we adhere to make sure that everyone wears a mask. We ensure that the touch points are less. We open the bins for the customers. We make sure that families are seated next to each other. We make sure that even the onboarding and the offboarding now takes longer than normal because the way you board in groups just to make sure that it's not crowded. So definitely we are trying the very best to see to it that we adhere to these protocols, but also we had the advantage that the aircraft has the high efficiency particulate air filters.
So you're not going to have, I mean, because when we looked at obviously if you're making that comparison, when you looked at public transport in the matatus and such, everybody had to sit, one in a pair kind of thing. So because of this filtration of the air within the aircraft, then you can have folks sitting together as normal if they have their masks and such on.
Yes, they have to have their masks on, and we keep announcing all the protocols on board. One of the things that also we have been asked to stop is that we don't serve on board.
Right.
So there's no eating on board, and we will continue this way until the time that we are allowed to. And we also assess, even within ourselves, we assess and see what is it that we need to do when. So with that, with the clean air on board, that really helps and reduces any spread.
So obviously this entire situation made a significant dent in revenues for you, obviously.
Yeah.
So now going forward, So going forward, trying to get back that which was lost, and then also, putting yourself as an airline in a position whereby now you're earning well. What are some of the strategies that you are thinking of, or maybe that you would want to implement, to make sure that you have more people flying and, encouraging more people to fly at a cost that they can afford, but also now, keeping your revenues up there?
Thank you, Oko. And one of the things that we have seen within Jambojet is that during this period of engaging among ourselves, we have come up with a number of innovative ways because things are a bit different. You find the purchasing power is lower. The customer can only pay so much. The yields are far much lower than what we used to get pre-COVID. So you find the business traveler is still operating from home or from their offices. They're not moving up and about. That impacted the number of passengers, the number of passengers who are traveling. So what we have done is that we had to bring in a new route. We started the Mombasa, Kisumu, Mombasa, Eldoret route. This was to address the number of people who are traveling from the western side of this country to the coast. So, and they were all coming through Nairobi. So that was one of the ways we had to grow. It worked well. We do 4 times a week. The other thing that we had to do is that we had to assure the customer, because we have to keep assuring the customer how safe are we. So we have brought in something like a new product which we call Lipa Pole Pole. This allows the customer to make plans way in advance and pay in a flexible manner, in a flexible way that they are comfortable. This way you can make your bookings for the month of June, May at this moment, but pay in bits that you're comfortable. That enables you to plan. And because you look at this moment for a family to travel, and you need to pay 50,000 shillings, what you may be having is 15 at the moment. So you're able to put the deposit and continue paying on a monthly basis till you meet the full 50,000. So this allows our domestic, because currently it's all about domestic travel. So we come up with these products to ensure that how do we pass this to our customers. The other ways that we are looking at is that we've started the charters. We are looking for charter opportunities, because we normally fly about 150 frequencies a week. As of now, we are doing about 120. When we started in the month of July, we were doing about 42. I remember that week we started with 42 frequencies. So the demand was quite low, but the demand has slowly been increasing to the point whereby we are currently at around 120. So we are not yet back to the 150, which would normally operate per week. So we have to look for other opportunities around, and one is charters. The other thing that we have done is that we have a program which we call the Now Travel Ready, whereby we're encouraging travel in the new normal. And what we do is that we have identified a number of partners that we can work with. Some of them are the counties, the hotels, and we showcase areas that you can visit. For example, last week we were in Mombasa, whereby we were showing the world, not only Kenya, but the world. As you travel to Mombasa, these are the areas that you can visit, because you find in most cases people get to their hotels, enjoy the beach, enjoy the hotel, enjoy one or two places, but there's so much that one can visit in Mombasa.
Yeah.
So we were working with the county government of Mombasa just to showcase all the areas that people can visit, and also just trying to show even the public what has changed, so that as they come to travel, they get to know, they're not surprised by the changes that are in place due to COVID-19. So that's what we are doing. Not only marketing by Jambojet, but also marketing destinations together with a number. Yes, and this has opened that line of partnerships.
Right.
Pre-COVID, we used to market Jambojet only. but now we realized pre-COVID you cannot continue doing it this way.
Yeah.
So we have to get into partnership with quite a number of stakeholders that whom we share interests, and that is working well for us.
So the Ministry of Tourism has also told us previously that domestic tourism possibly could be a savior then when it comes to this. Do you see yourself being able to play, as Jambojet, being able to play a role in this? Because we're saying, all right, international tourists not coming, it doesn't mean that the situation has to go to the dogs. That there are 20 million Kenyans, perhaps, who could travel, whether it's for a weekend, for 2 weeks, whatever. Do you see yourself playing a role here whereby you have, airline tickets at maybe half the price, but you can increase the frequency and partnering with hotels across counties, for example, for them to go and see Kenya? Do you see this as something that could come about?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for that. What we are seeing is that for sure during this period, domestic travel is what is going to keep us going. And if you look at our prices are among the lowest ever. Because when you look at the purchasing power, it's still, and you fully understand. We fully understand that people are not able to pay as much as they used to pay before. So for us, we go for volumes, and to go for volumes, we have to give a better price. We have to give a lower price. We have to stimulate this market. We have to work closely with the hotels. And as you clearly indicated, domestic travel has to be the only way in the short term to keep us going. And we will continue marketing our destinations. Let me tell you, if you look at Eldoret and Kisumu, people hardly go on holidays to those destinations. But we have had a whole tour as Jambojet, and working with a number of stakeholders there. And we are showing areas that people can visit. And there are quite a number of interesting places that I personally didn't know that I could visit. So that's what we are trying to pass. We are working with the Kenya Tourism Board, and they are really supporting this initiative to see to it how do we share Kenya and encourage Kenyans to visit Kenya.
Bwana Ndegwa, I want to ask,
Yes.
who owns Jambojet?
Jambojet is wholly owned by Kenya Airways, 100%.
I see.
Yeah,
Now let-
you sound surprised.
Well, not entirely. You see, it's got my mind working and I'm thinking. So, if it's wholly owned by Kenya Airways, then it means that every problem that Kenya Airways has is likely to sort of like be passed on to Jambojet. But
Yes, continue, sorry.
no, please. There's something you wanted to say. Say it. I will not lose the thread of thought that I had in mind.
No, I'm just waiting for you to finish.
All right, then let me finish.
Yeah.
You see,
Yes.
Kenya Airways has had financial problems galore. Okay, Jambojets has had its problems. Now, the question I wanted to ask is there ever a time in the airline business that one can actually make money and put some aside for a rainy day? Is it possible?
Yeah, you're so right. In the airline industry, if you look at even worldwide, the number of airlines that make a profit, the profits are really, they are quite thin. So you find for us, out of the 6 years that we've operated, 3 years were profitable. And the years that we made the loss was the first year when we began. Then there was a 2017 during the election period. People were not traveling, so we really lost. The year 2017 was a loss making, and then 2020 definitely will be a loss making. But all the other 3 years were profitable. So we've had 3 years profit, 3 years loss. So we've had, and given that we are a new airline, we have had our good run. But as you indicate, we are still okay. Just to go back to the KQ, we are wholly owned by KQ, but it's at arm's length. We have our separate board, and we run Jambojet. The model is totally different because the KQ is a legacy model, but for us is a low cost model with no frills, and you pay for what you use. That makes your traveling quite easy. And if you look at Jambojet, when we started Jambojet, our whole aspect was to make travel affordable. In the first year, 30% of the travelers had never entered an aircraft. So we made flying possible, and we demystified this whole aspect about traveling is for a certain class. That's what we keep following, and we are at SAFE. We have a safe history. We are an IOSA member. That's the highest safety standard, and our operational standards. We are quite reliable. We leave on time. Of course, we had a history in 2016 where we had to come back and apologize because there was a time that we really messed our customers, and we also learned from that. And from that experience, we had to get new Q400 with new aircraft. We had to start working on that. Just getting that history,
clear the reputation,
and just have the customer confidence. I think over this period we have earned it back, and we will. That's something that I would say, customer centricity is at the center of Jambojet. We ensure that we are safe, we are reliable, we are leaving on time, we are affordable, we are that customer experience. We want every customer to enjoy and to always remember. And whenever they think of flying, they think of Jambojet. So we've had our rough time. We learned from that, and that's history. And what we hold that dearly. Once you've been there, you don't want to go back there again. So as Jambojet, we are in our operations. We are totally, although we still report, our books are consolidated with the Kenya Airways books. we are still at arm's length in terms of operations. There are things that we work together, like the ground, they do our handling, our ramp handling, but every other thing from the sales, all that is separate.
Okay, so as a budget airline, you operate from JKIA, I presume?
Yes, we operate from JKIA.
Okay.
That's our hub.
You have competitors who operate from Wilson.
Yes.
How do you fare against this competition?
When it comes to, because that's when it comes to the market, we are those are our main competitors, but our products are slightly different from each other because but closer. So for Jambojet, we as a product, we have to continuously sell the safety, the affordability, the reliability, and that's who we are. And I know we have that competition from Wilson. We work with a few of them, but what happens is that their aircraft are smaller than the Jambojet aircraft. Mm-hmm. So there are many areas that they go that we can't go, because for us we operate 6 new Q400s, de Havilland Q400s, which are 78 seaters. Yet for them, you find the aircraft that are there. The biggest is a 50-seater Bombardier 300. That's 300. That's the biggest, and the Embraer 145, the 50-seaters. But you find you have the 37, the 19-seaters. So you find for them, they are able to operate in shorter aerodromes, but which we cannot. And they have also their space. They also go to the Mara, quite a number of them, places that we can't go. But for us, it's mainly to Mombasa, Kisumu, Eldoret, Malindi, and Ukunda, and then Nairobi as our hub.
Karanja Ndegwa, Managing Director, Jambojet, thank you very much for joining us today, and we are excited to hear about this kind of new innovative ways in which you're bringing the flying back and making it normal as possible.
Thank you very much, and I'm honored to join you today.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure having you, sir. Thank you.
We hope to have you in the studio soon.
Thank you.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. Spice up your life.